Shadows of the Crimson Queen. Written by Reuben White. Chapter 1. The desolate frontier. The sun beat down mercilessly upon the vast expanse of the Wild West, its scorching rays turning the earth to parched dust and casting long shadows across the rugged landscape. Amidst this desolate terrain, a lone stagecoach tore through the wilderness, its ironclad walls rattling with each jolt and sway. Within the confines of the stagecoach rode Sheriff Jake McCullen, a man weathered by the harsh realities of frontier life. His steely gaze swept over the horizon, ever vigilant for signs of danger. Beside him sat Luke, Quickdraw, McKenna, a gunslinger with a haunted past, and Sarah, Spurs, O'Malley, a woman of fierce determination and unwavering loyalty. As the stagecoach thundered onward, the tension among its passengers was palpable. Each of them carried their burdens, their secrets, and their reasons for embarking on this perilous journey. But lurking in the shadows, unseen and unheard, was the true threat, a figure cloaked in darkness and death, known only as Black Jack Cassidy. With his gang of desperados at his side, he hunted the stagecoach with relentless determination, his eyes gleaming with the promise of untold riches. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the desert sands, the stage was set for a battle that would echo through the ages. In the heart of the Wild West, where the sun scorched the earth and secrets were buried beneath layers of dust, the stagecoach hurtled toward an uncertain fate. But little did its passengers know the true danger lay not in the unforgiving landscape, but in the darkness that lurked within their hearts. Chapter 2. Into the unknown. The stagecoach rumbled forward, its wheels kicking up clouds of dust as it plowed through the unforgiving desert terrain. The relentless sun beat down upon the travelers, its fiery gaze bearing witness to the trials that lay ahead. As they journeyed deeper into the wilderness, tensions simmered among the passengers like the bubbling cauldron of a storm on the horizon. Sheriff McCullen sat stoically at the reins, his jaw set in determination as he guided the stagecoach along the treacherous path. Luke, Quickdraw, McKenna's fingers twitched nervously near the handle of his revolver, his eyes darting to and fro as if expecting danger to leap out from behind every rock and cactus. Sarah, Spurs, O'Malley sat with her back ramrod straight, her gaze fixed on the horizon, her mind undoubtedly preoccupied with thoughts of the vengeance that awaited her. The atmosphere inside the stagecoach was thick with tension, each passenger acutely aware of the dangers that lurked beyond the confines of their ironclad sanctuary. But little did they know, the true peril lay not in the desolate landscape that stretched out before them, but in the darkness that dwelled within the hearts of their fellow travelers. As they journeyed further into the unknown, a sense of foreboding settled over the stagecoach like a shroud, casting a shadow over the already oppressive heat of the desert. For unbeknownst to them, Black Jack Cassidy and his gang of desperados were closing in, their thirst for blood and gold driving them ever onward. The journey had only just begun, but already the stage was set for a confrontation of epic proportions. In the heart of the Wild West, where danger lurked around every bend and death rode on the wind, the travelers braced themselves for the trials that lay ahead. Little did they know, the true test of their mettle was yet to come. Chapter 3. Pursuit of shadows. As the stagecoach pressed on through the relentless desert, Black Jack Cassidy and his gang of outlaws closed in like wolves stalking their prey. The distant sound of hoofbeats echoed on the dry wind, a harbinger of the danger that lurked just beyond the horizon. Sheriff Jake McCullen's jaw tightened as he heard the telltale signs of their pursuers drawing nearer. With grim resolve, he urged the horses onward, pushing them to their limits in a desperate bid to outpace the approaching threat. Luke, Quickdraw, McKenna's hand hovered over his revolver, his senses on high alert as he scanned the horizon for any sign of movement. Sarah, Spurs, O'Malley's fingers twitched restlessly, her eyes darting from shadow to shadow, her nerves stretched taut with the anticipation of impending danger. Suddenly, without warning, The silence was shattered by the crack of gunfire. Bullets whistled through the air like angry hornets, tearing through the fabric of the stagecoach and sending splinters of wood flying. With a shout, Sheriff McCullen urged his companions to take cover, their hearts pounding in their chests as they braced themselves for the onslaught. Amidst the chaos and confusion, the outlaws descended upon the stagecoach like a swarm of locusts, their faces twisted into cruel sneers as they unleashed a hail of bullets upon their unsuspecting prey. But Sheriff McCullen refused to yield, his resolve unshaken as he fought tooth and nail to protect the Crimson Queen at all costs. As the battle raged on, tensions among the passengers reached a fever pitch, their nerves frayed by the relentless assault. Each gunshot and shouted command only served to fuel the rising paranoia that threatened to consume them all. But amidst the chaos and carnage, one thing remained clear: Sheriff McCullen would stop at nothing to ensure the safety of his companions and the precious cargo they carried. With every passing moment, the hunt for the Crimson Queen grew ever more perilous, the shadows closing in around the stagecoach like the jaws of a hungry beast. But Sheriff McCullen and his companions refused to surrender to the darkness that threatened to engulf them. For in the heart of the Wild West, where danger lurked around every corner and death rode on the wind, the true test of their mettle had only just begun. Chapter 4. Shadows of the Past. As the dust settled from the ambush, Sheriff Jake McCullen found himself grappling with ghosts from his past. Memories of lost comrades and failed missions haunted him like specters in the night, their accusing whispers echoing in the depths of his mind. Doubts gnawed at his resolve, threatening to undermine his authority and his ability to lead. With each passing mile, Sheriff McCullen's internal turmoil grew, his heart heavy with the burden of his past failures. He questioned his every decision, second-guessing his instincts and wondering if he had what it took to protect those under his charge. Yet, despite his doubts, a flicker of determination burned within him, a determination to right the wrongs of the past and ensure that justice prevailed, no matter the cost. Meanwhile, Quickdraw, McKenna found himself haunted by his own demons. As the relentless pursuit continued, memories of his checkered past came flooding back with a vengeance, threatening to consume him whole. Dark deeds and unspeakable sins weighed heavily on his conscience, their shadows stretching out like tendrils to ensnare him in their grasp. Despite his best efforts to bury his past beneath layers of bravado, Luke found himself confronted by the ghosts of his past at every turn. Their accusing stares and whispered accusations served as a constant reminder of the man he once was, and the man he feared he might become once again. Sarah Spurs O'Malley's thirst for vengeance burned like a wildfire, consuming her from within. With each passing moment, her desire to see those who had wronged her brought to justice grew ever stronger, driving her to take increasingly reckless actions in pursuit of her goal. Yet, beneath her steely exterior, a kernel of doubt began to take root, a doubt born of the realization that her thirst for vengeance threatened to consume her just as surely as it did those she hunted. As the journey wore on, the bonds of trust and loyalty that had once bound the passengers of the stagecoach together began to fray. Suspicion lingered in the air like a toxic fog, poisoning their interactions and sowing seeds of discord among them. Yet, despite the trials and tribulations they faced, Sheriff McCullen and his companions knew that they must stand united if they were to have any hope of surviving the trials that lay ahead. For in the heart of the Wild West, where danger lurked around every corner and death rode on the wind, trust and loyalty were the only currency that held any value. And without them, they were truly lost. Chapter 5. Trials of the trail. As the stagecoach pressed on through the unforgiving desert, the danger that lurked around every corner grew ever more palpable. Black Jack Cassidy and his gang of outlaws continued their relentless pursuit, their shadowy figures appearing on the horizon like vengeful specters. With each passing encounter, the The danger posed by Black Jack Cassidy's gang became increasingly apparent. Ambushes sprung from the shadows with alarming frequency, bullets raining down upon the stagecoach like a storm of lead. Sheriff Jake McCullen and his companions fought tooth and nail to repel the attacks, their nerves stretched to the breaking point as they braved the onslaught. But it was not only the outlaws that posed a threat to the travelers' safety. Natural obstacles and hazards littered the trail, testing their resolve and pushing them to their limits. Sweltering heat waves parched their throats and threatened to drain their strength, while treacherous terrain made each step forward feel like an uphill battle. Yet, amidst the chaos and carnage, an even greater threat loomed, the specter of betrayal. As tensions among the passengers reached fever pitch, suspicions ran rampant, each traveler eyeing their companions with a mixture of fear and mistrust. Whispers of conspiracy and double crosses floated on the wind, casting a shadow of doubt over their already precarious situation. Despite the mounting dangers and betrayals, Sheriff McCullen and his companions refused to yield to despair. With steely determination, they pressed on, their eyes fixed firmly on the horizon as they braved each new challenge that the trail threw their way. For in the heart of the Wild West, where danger lurked around every corner and death rode on the wind, only the strongest would survive. And Sheriff McCullen and his companions were determined to prove that they were more than up to the task. Chapter 6. Shadows at high noon. The stagecoach hurtled towards its inevitable destiny, the tension within its confines almost tangible. Sheriff Jake McCullen stood resolute at the reins, his eyes fixed on the horizon where the final confrontation with Black Jack Cassidy loomed like a dark cloud. As the sun reached its zenith, casting long shadows across the desert floor, the stagecoach ground to a halt. All around, the wilderness seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the inevitable clash between law and lawlessness. With a thunderous crash, Black Jack Cassidy and his gang emerged from the shadows, their guns drawn and their eyes burning with a manic fervor. Sheriff McCullen and his companions stood firm, their resolve unyielding in the face of the impending storm. The air crackled with tension as the two sides squared off, the sun beating down upon them like a relentless judge. At that moment, time seemed to slow to a crawl, each heartbeat echoing like the tolling of a funeral bell. Then, without warning, the first shots rang out, shattering the silence like a thunderclap. Bullets flew through the air with deadly accuracy, finding their marks with unerring precision. Sheriff McCullen and his companions fought with a ferocity born of desperation, their every movement a testament to their unwavering determination to protect the Crimson Queen at all costs. As the battle raged on, the line between friend and foe blurred, betrayal and redemption intertwined in a deadly dance. Luke, Quickdraw, McKenna unleashed a barrage of gunfire, his aim true and his resolve unshaken by the chaos that surrounded him. Sarah, Spurs, O'Malley fought with a fury born of vengeance, her every strike a testament to the pain and suffering that had brought her to this moment. But amidst the chaos and carnage, Sheriff McCullen stood alone, his gaze fixed on Black Jack Cassidy, the man who had haunted his nightmares for far too long. With a steely resolve, he faced his nemesis head-on, knowing that only one of them would walk away from this showdown. As the dust settled and the smoke cleared, only one figure remained standing, Sheriff Jake McCullen, his revolver still smoking in his hand. Black Jack Cassidy lay at his feet, his reign of terror finally brought to an end. With the threat of Cassidy and his gang vanquished, the fate of the Crimson Queen was finally revealed. Sheriff McCullen and his companions stood in awe as the artifact was unveiled, its power shimmering like a beacon of hope in the desolate wilderness. As they rode off into the sunset, their mission accomplished and their hearts lighter than they had been in years, Sheriff McCullen and his companions knew that they had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. For in the heart of the Wild West, where danger lurked around every corner and death rode on the wind, They had proven that even the darkest shadows could be vanquished by the light of courage and determination. Chapter 7. Echoes in the dust. The aftermath of the showdown left the desert silent, the echoes of gunfire fading into the vast expanse of the Wild West. Sheriff Jake McCullen stood amidst the wreckage of the battle, his gaze fixed on the horizon as he surveyed the aftermath of the conflict. The air was heavy with the scent of gunpowder and blood, a stark reminder of the price that had been paid for victory. As the dust settled, Sheriff McCullen and his companions gathered around the Crimson Queen, their faces etched with a mixture of relief and exhaustion. The artifact gleamed in the fading light, its ancient power a testament to the trials they had endured and the sacrifices they had made. With the threat of Black Jack Cassidy and his gang vanquished, the passengers of the stagecoach found themselves at a crossroads. Luke, Quickdraw, McKenna, and Sarah, Spurs, O'Malley bid farewell to Sheriff McCullen, their paths diverging as they set out to forge their destinies in the unforgiving wilderness. As Sheriff McCullen watched them ride off into the sunset, a sense of bittersweet satisfaction washed over him. Though their journey together had been fraught with danger and hardship, it had also forged bonds of friendship and camaraderie that would endure long after they had parted ways. In the fading light of the setting sun, Sheriff McCullen took a moment to reflect on the enduring legacy of the Wild West. Though the battles fought on its unforgiving trails had left scars that would never fully heal, they had also given rise to legends that would be passed down through the generations. As he turned his gaze towards the horizon, Sheriff McCullen knew that the Wild West would always hold a special place in the hearts of those who dared to brave its dangers. For in the end, it was not the treasures of gold and silver that defined the frontier. It was the courage and determination of those who dared to face the darkness and emerge victorious. And for Sheriff Jake McCullen and his companions, that was a legacy worth fighting for. If you are enjoying the Mystery Within channel, feel free to hit the subscribe, follow, or like channels for future posts.